great Gina Carano.
I didn't think it was going to be here.
We love you!
Thank you so much. I really was like, okay, we'll just do like a little circle then. This is amazing. Thank you so much.
It slowly turns into a powwow with all this. It will be, just with a little more scale. Now, I am a huge Star Wars fan. I'm a huge Deadpool fan, but I think I'm an even bigger UFC fan.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for all of this, combining a lot of those elements.
We'll just go with mixed martial arts.
Now, I gotta know, between the mixed martial arts audience and the con audience, how do they compare? Venn diagram, differences, similarities?
You know, I find the con audience to be so gentle. And, you know, I've never had a bad experience at an expo or a con, and it's just so beautiful to see that we can all, you know, be passionate about stuff. And I mean, I swear, like, the interactions that I have with all of you lift my spirits. I never thought I'd be an expo person, but meeting you guys have made it so worth it. So thank you.
Anti-internet, like we're all here to celebrate.
Yes.
It's the inverse.
I feel like that should be like a quote.
That's my tagline for cons.
Yes.
I travel to get away from the internet.
Yeah, it's everything that, you know, that the internet is a really interesting place, right? It's like anybody can create a fake account and you see all this negativity, but when I get people in person, it is not that at all.
Yeah.
And we're so like connected and human, and I love it.
And in person, it's like we celebrate things and we're excited to, like, we dogpile on good, and the internet's like, I just like that too, like it's a weird, so this is my favorite. I love cons so much, I'm glad.
Same.
So with that, the UFC and MMA world is so stacked and so competitive. Movies are also really competitive. Do you have that same nature of, like, when you get a script, you know another few people are going after it? Does they have that same sort of drive and be like, I'm gonna get this?
You know, to be real honest, no. I always like, I meet actresses who are like that, which I'm always like, all right. I just don't consider myself the same. I feel like every person has their own thing that they bring, and so I also believe that God brings opportunities into your life, and if it's meant for you, then no one can take it away from you. And so I've had such a unique experience. You know, there is such a thing as competing, but competing to make yourself better, not to compete to have jealousy to take something away from someone. And so that's the way I look at life. Yeah.
That's beautiful, I love that.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. Now, this is a celebration of fandom, of geekdom, of zeal, of passion. Obviously, you know, competitive in athleticism, competitive in work, but what are you, like, passionate about? Do you have a hobby, collecting stamps, like cars, architecture?
I've been real passionate about freedom lately. You know, before this, I'd never really, you know, spoken. I was actually afraid to speak. You know, I had social anxiety, and I just played it real cool in public. But when things started happening in 2020, I felt that everybody was holding their breath, and that, you know, if we could just shake people's minds free and their voices free a little bit, then if, you know, I did that, then more people would feel okay to speak out. And I can comfortably say that, like, I don't feel like I have to speak so much anymore, because you all are speaking now. And so I just wanted to do that. And thank you. Now I can get paid. We should have had a healthier conversation about 3 years ago. I can start focusing on art again and rebuilding my career, which, you know, I took a hard hit, and I knew that it wasn't going to be easy, but I'm not giving up, and I hope to give you guys all something to read forward to.
I know what it's like to have like a 16-hour day on set. I know how exhausting set can be in that lifestyle. It's my last fight question, I promise. But when you're training and you've got these crazy long days, how does it compare to that mental resilience? There's so much willpower involved in training for a fight or fighting itself. Is it a similar feeling of like, is the octagon similar to being in the volume? Is it saying like, I have to persevere?
Well, I just find that, like, you know, when I started fighting, it was because I loved it, you know, and then in acting, I loved it. So when you're doing something you love, and these fans expos, I love it, you know. So when you do stuff that you love, I don't think time or energy really, like, counts. I mean, yes, you get exhausted, but if my job is doing something I love, like fighting or visiting with you all, and I'm complaining, then I'd be an asshole. So yeah, I love this. I mean, I don't do things that I don't love, and so that's how I look at it. You know, you give everything to things that you love, and so to compare them, it just all sorts of different energies, you know. But
and these cons are similarly. It's interesting when you hit like, you know, that 12th hour, that 14th hour, and you're like, oh, I'm tired. Like, I've been tired.
Yeah.
But there's so much passion and like connection.
Like, oh, I didn't eat today.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably good.
It's midnight. Where did today come?
Yeah.
Now, huge Deadpool fan, like ride or die Deadpool fan. I learned reading Spider-Man, but Deadpool became my new love. And Deadpool is such a near perfect, it's so good, and it's such a different kind of comic book movie. But I have to know, improvising with Ryan Reynolds, how hard was it to keep a straight face? How hard was it to maintain any sort of semblance of sanity? How do you do that on set?
Well, I just had to stand there and take it. And it was like, I mean, it was really cute. You know, Ryan Reynolds is just as amazing as you would imagine. He's one of the good ones. He's a solid, sweet person, but he's just got this brilliant mind that you just kind of like sit there. And so knowing him and knowing where he's coming from, he could say anything and I wouldn't have taken it, you know.
Sure.
But it's really fascinating to see the genius that is Ryan Reynolds and some of these other actors. Just how, you know, oh man, I don't know if I could ever do that, you know. So that was the most beautiful, fascinating thing, is to see people really shine at what they're good at.
Yeah, it seemed like masters in
I feel
anything.
like I'm good at the stunts, and so people like they come and they watch and they're like, oh yeah, I couldn't do that. So with Ryan Reynolds, it's comedy. You know?
Yeah, that's cool to have, like, I've mastered this art and I'm gonna watch you master yours.
Yeah, Amy Adams, it's like crying on cue, right? So it's like, oh, I don't know, I can do that either. Open my eyes in the corner.
You go to a Meryl Streep movie, you're like, okay, how is she gonna affect my emotion?
And she can do everything, so that's, I mean, she could probably do stunts too, so I mean, she's amazing.
Yeah, we were talking about Princess Bride backstage, and I definitely feel like Carrie Elwes and Robin Wright, certain of those, that's mastery.
That is something I would have, you know, I didn't know Princess Bride was happening, so.
There was a reunion panel we both geeked out about, like, that movie was everything.
I was like, you took the panel for that? I would have been in the audience.
It was Carrie Elwes, like, how do you talk to the Dread Pirate Roberts?
And you said that you were the Dread Pirate Roberts.
He like knighted me. He like looked at me in the eyes like, you would have made an excellent Dread Pirate Roberts.
And
I was
you
like,
would. Was it fur?
Yeah, the scar.
It's not fur, but.
I'll take it. Both are flattering. But it was definitely a morning. It's been like it's like you said, like you're never tired if you're like, I'm waking up at 9 a.m. and be like knighted as the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Wait, you can totally do that.
Now look at
I
the set.
to marry you.
Yeah, now we've got plans. Now, this is also a set that, you know, you look at these big scale movies and they're like $200, $300 million budgets. Deadpool got like its budget cut midway because there was accounting stuff. Like, no, that was your marketing budget.
Yeah.
What was it like to work on a set that was so like punk rock for something so big?
Well, I feel like in my whole career, I'm always at the beginning of certain things, right? So Deadpool or MMA or, you know, I wasn't at the beginning of female in action, but I'm always like when it like starts really taking off. And I just think that was really cool. Deadpool changed the game, you know, being a part of it. Like, I'm always like there, and that's such been a cool blessing. And I think it's probably because I probably don't belong in any, like I don't belong anywhere. And so they're like, well, this is unique, and then it makes it interesting. So
Follow that trend.
Yeah.
Now I'm over here.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, very cool. Very cool to be part of that.
Now, before we get to Star Wars, I also am obsessed with the Fast franchise. I think it's so unique. And speaking of changing things, that really escalated when you got brought in. Like, that world grew and grew. What was that set like as compared to other things you worked on? Was the pacing different? It feels like very kinetic, and the energy seems insane on those films. Is the set likewise crazy?
It's just like a lot of big personalities.
Yeah.
It's just, I went from like Michael Douglas and just like two different areas of the art world of actors, right? So you've got Steven Soderbergh and, you know, just this artistic, beautiful, haywire thing, and then that, Fast 6 was my second movie, and you've got like Vin Diesel and The Rock like walking past each other, like not necessarily friends. And then I had like Tyrese come in, and I'm like by myself. It's my second movie. I'm by myself, and Tyrese comes with me. He's like, you need a posse, you need an entourage. No, I'm good. I'm good solo. Like I like to, but they all had chefs and like therapists, and like I was like just over in the corner of my chair, like, oh my god. Like, okay, this is different.
I love the idea of Soderbergh like making art and like looking at poetry, and they're like, these guys are flexing at each other. This is aggressive.
It's like more baby oil over here.
It's so shiny. What is going on?
This is just like total art house. That was a definitely,
Fassbender's like sitting in a dark room and you're like, what is happening?
Like editing. Oh my god, it was fun.
But bringing us to Star Wars, I really love where we got with some of the Disney Plus stuff, and where it feels like it's expanded beyond the Skywalkers, and it feels like a galaxy, not like a little world. Like it feels so big. What was your first day on set like, knowing the scope and scale of that fandom in that world?
Well, I don't think anything, like Deadpool was a good sized budget, and that was definitely different, but nothing could prepare an actor to be a part of that kind of energy. And when I look back, I wish that they would have prepared me a little bit more, because it was so aggressive and so big. And as a naive person who's just starting to break in, it was a lot. But my first day on set, it was just beautiful. I can't say enough good things about Jon Favreau. He is a genius, not only with storytelling, but with communicating to his staff and his actors, and making sure that everybody is knows what they're gonna do. And I love that man. I think he's so talented. I'll always support him and everything. And he made my experience on there just absolutely beautiful, and I miss that.
Yeah, Jon Favreau, like it starts universes. Yeah. It's pretty incredible.
He's one person that could really get inside my mind, and like he taught me a lot about my acting experience. And I remember by season 2, he's like, "You got it."
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. First day on set to seeing the first episode. It's so visual effects heavy, so much is imagination. It's not a show that you're on set going like, oh, this is done. Like there's so much that needs to be done later. What was it like watching a completed episode and your sense memory from like, that was a very different day?
Well, I'm a little bit different. Like I sometimes would have, I know it's important to watch your work, but I feel like I've had so far to grow. And so I didn't watch the season 1 until I know there was a season 2, and then in order to really kind of take in my character and understand what I did, I went in before we shot season 2, and then I sat there with headphones and I watched the whole thing through, so I could really understand, make sure that I was like being consistent in my season 2. So yes, like sometimes they forced me to sit in the premieres, but I don't, I'm like one of those people I'm like, oh, I don't really want to watch myself. I'm starting to get over that, because I'm starting to get more, comfortable in my skin, but that took 40 years. So, I think I'll do better now. It'll just get better.
I love that some actors watch their other people's work, and you're like, I need to watch my own. Like you're studying your performance, like someone's like, I'm gonna play him in a biopic, but it's me.
Well, I didn't watch it while it was happening, and I would normally probably, I might have not, but I just wanted to make sure it was consistency.
Yeah, I love that your backstory is like, I'm gonna catch up on my own journey.
Had me back for season 2, I might have not watched it just because I'm really,
That's fascinating.
hard on myself, yeah.
Have you not watched most of the other things you've done?
There are some I haven't watched.
Always so interesting with actors, like how that works in your head, like that's not for me.
And I will, I feel like, that next job always, as soon as I can make something that I really feel like, I'm proud of, and I can say, this, I'll watch it, and then I can go back and be like, okay, this is where I came from.
Yeah.
But I have a long ways to grow, and I know that, so I'm just always gonna stay humble. And I think, maybe for us all, the older we get, the more comfortable we get, the more free we are to just be ourselves. And I think, I don't know if you guys saw, I did Terror on the Prairie, and I think, so we had to go out on a non-union movie, and so we didn't have a lot to work with. There's things that could have been better, but I liked my performance in it. I was proud of that, and so I feel like, you know, I'm finally settling in as an actor, which I remember Bryce Dallas Howard told me. She said, you know, it took her about 8 years to really get comfortable. And so I think when you really love something, don't be so hard on yourself so early. It's gonna take a long time, and if you just keep on putting in the work, you'll get there. And you know, you can make mistakes in front of human beings because we're all human, so we can make mistakes in front of each other, and just really go for your dreams and just understand it's not gonna be a quick thing, you know, it's gonna take your whole life.
Beautiful. I love it. In that same vein, is there anyone you remember specifically getting advice from that really resonated in a unique way? I love the Bryce Dallas Howard advice. Is there any like a mentor or someone on set that like shifted something for you?
Yeah.
I'll always wonder.
No, I won't be able to. Carl was wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Carl. We kind of during a panel and I just left the con. I went back to the hotel and sat. So
I know, I'm so sorry. I won't really be able to talk about it.
Totally understand. Totally understand. Too much. We'll not end the panel early, so I'm pivoting hard. Let's talk about Roku. Let's talk about the little man. Let's go to the cutest thing I can fathom in this moment. Roku, adorable, love him. What do we think of that child aging? Do we like him in the armor? What's your favorite Roku evolution?
Well, I have to say when I got to experience him.
Yeah, what was that like acting opposite that
It
man?
was amazing, and it was really strange, you know, like, you'd have celebrities come on set and everybody would just go straight to Grogu. I remember just talking to him like, what, you know, like it was like your dog or something, and I'm like, this is fascinating. And when you're acting with it on set, you're like, oh, you know, like, give me more attention to Grogu. Like, I'm being a little ridiculous right now.
As soon as you're in the eyes, you get it. You're like, I'm enchanted. Like, I'm part of it.
It was amazing. I mean, it's incredible how they bring it to life, and then just even holding it, and everybody wants to hold it. So, you, like, that's when things do get competitive. Okay, things go like, I'm holding it. No, I think I should hold it. Why would you hold it? You're doing this over here. I'm like, I can definitely hold it. I think you know.
The only time I'd say you're competitive is like, where's that baby?
Yeah. That baby. That baby. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna
and
take
then
some...
it choked me, and I'm like, are you sure we want to put this in there?
Things have gotten dark immediately.
Yeah.
It's pretty Grogu.
Actually, the funny thing about that is I passed out twice. You know, because I was like holding my breath, and I remember I passed out, and then Brendan Wayne, I just came to, and I was like, oh, okay, well I got choked out a bunch, you know, like, and my mixed martial arts, so I was like, okay, that happened. And I was like, don't do that again, you really overacted there, dude. And then I did it again, and I'm like, oh gosh, and it became, like, you come to and you're looking around, I'm like, okay, it's this little thing is the force. So that happened twice.
I've got a few more questions, but while I ask them, if you guys want to line up for fan questions, we got mics on each side, but I've got a few more. In that same vein of doing stunt work and having the experience of being choked out, is there any stunt you haven't done yet that you particularly want to because you know you could do it well? Is there like a role you're seeking so you can do a certain thing, or what do you have eyes on?
No, I mean, like, I do my stunts, you know? There's like 1 to maybe 3% of the stunts that I don't do. So that's not actually on the list.
Any certain type of role you'd like to do? Anything next that you would get like acting eyeballs on?
Oh yeah. I've recently changed up my team just recently, and I'm getting some new fresh energy and some fresh eyeballs on me to help me kind of create a new career, and so rehabilitate what has happened. And I have so many ideas, and I just didn't really have the people around me to help me, and a lot of those people left after I was canceled. But now I'm getting some really, really cool people that are surrounding me, and I think that if I was going to tell someone who's getting into the entertainment business, or really basically any business, is understand who you have around you. working with me. And it's beautiful how you can, you know, you can get those kinds of connections and just really have beautiful, good-hearted people that surround you, and it's very important. I would rather have Jay, you know, and build something together than somebody who thought, you know, like, well, we'll just like let your career kind of do what it does and take incoming phone calls. So, you know, we're in the building process, and that's where I'm at. Love you, Jay.
All right, I know we're not plenty of Star Wars questions, lots of acting questions, so my selfish question. McGregor versus Chandler, who you got? If they fight, do you have any heat on one or the other?
I feel like, can I not answer?
Oh, you totally did not. That's okay. I don't want to put you in the spot, but I want to know what you think. Tell me after. Off the record, I
I'm
want
gonna
to
start
know.
crying against each other.
Grogu, so Baby Yoda. So, all right, first question over here on the left.
My name is Charles, and I used Jay's video to introduce my wife to you and that interview. So one thing that I've seen in all this time, I've been following your Twitter account, and I have mad respect for you because you took the hits just like as if you were in the ring, and you stood up and you fought them. And so I was watching Haywire again last night. I didn't get through it all the way. I had to go back to sleep to come to a con for some reason. In any event, what I wanted to know is when you get your responses on like your social media and stuff like that, has that helped strengthen you to be able to go forward? Because I promise you, the fact that you stand up inspires a lot of people. And
the majority of people at these expos are the people that are like, you know, we love your work, we love this, but we love that you stood up. And, you know, that shows me how badly it was needed. And I knew that, like, it wasn't safe nor comfortable at the time, but I just, I wanted the people that were being forced into silence to know that they were not alone. And the beautiful thing about that is now you guys are letting me know I'm not alone. And that's beautiful.
Yeah. Over here on the left.
So I'm going to piggyback on his question. First off, you will always fill a room because we're here for you. Okay? And I don't think as a society that we are forgiving enough and showing grace to individuals, right, when they make a step or they speak out or whatever. I'm just curious about your mental health through that entire time. How did you keep it together, and how are you so, you're standing here with so much positivity and so much, you know, that you've forgiven everybody else. I mean, you were getting a lot of disgusting comments.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, what did you do for yourself?
Thank you. That is a wonderful question. You know, first, it was not easy. There's plenty of times where it's just such anxiety, where your skin hurts and you know, you want to buckle and you just kind of like, I don't know how I can hold on, you know. But I do have to say that God, having God kept me through it in my heart, and so that kept me stable.
Actually, this is the second time I met you. I had the privilege to meet you a couple of years ago, and I'm just low-key glad that we didn't scare you off. So I'm glad that you're back. I'm kind of fangirling right now, so.
You're wonderful.
Okay, my question to you is with your MMA background, and I'm going to push the fandom a little bit here, so I'm probably going to get a little bit of hate. But with your MMA background, could you ever see yourself like in WWE, like pointing to that WrestleMania sign? Because I could totally see you doing that.
You know, to be honest, it was never WWE. I was more of like I didn't ever want to be The Rock, you know. I didn't, and a lot of the fighters do, like, oh, that's like the goal. I always wanted to be a little bit more on the artsy side, you know, like I always like artsy stuff when I was, or dramas when I was growing up. Like I didn't necessarily mean to be good at fighting, or like I didn't mean to become a fighter. It just is something that like came came very naturally. And I just love art. So, I'm not saying that WWE isn't art, but I mean, for instance, we did the Gladiators, right? And I walked away from that 4 times because I didn't want to put on that bravado. And finally the executive producer called me, he's like, Gina, please. And I was like, okay, just one request and I'll come and be a part of it. And he said, I said, as long as I don't have to act, and I don't have to act like that. And so I was like, I want to be the mute, I don't want to say a word, I just want to go and do the physical stuff and have fun, and I'll keep a straight face the whole time, and as long as you let me do that, I'll come be a part of it. So yeah, the WWE world, I respect so deeply what those people do, it just wasn't my style.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
My name's Sean. This young lady back here is my daughter.
Hi.
And I just wanted to say thank you for being a strong, positive female role model. Okay? Standing up strong, not taking it. Okay? And doing what I call it bliss. Beautiful, loving, intelligent, independent, and strong. That's what I always try to dare to do, and you kind of represent that.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Haywire kind of like those, almost a cliffhanger. Is there maybe a sequel in the future?
I think that we should create new stuff.
Okay.
Like maybe we should just do something. We can do something similar. Steven Soderbergh's got he's working with some pretty big time people now. I think there's something that can be done like that. I think one of my passions is to get in the director's seat eventually. And I've been talking about that for a very long time. And so, I think I could mix action and art in a beautiful way that I think is needed. And, I'm always kind of like, I want it to make sense. I don't want somebody sitting there like, oh, could that happen? No, probably not. And it's really fun with like The Mandalorian or these kinds of stories, but I don't know, I want to make something really pretty and real. And, so maybe I'll get to do that.
Well, like a lot of the movies where they have these little 110-pound girls throwing around a 300-pound or 250-pound guy.
I know, like, you guys are taking my job. I can make it look so real.
I would not get in the ring with you. So, thank you very much for everything you do.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
My name is Kelly, and my little sister Sarah said to tell you, do not comply. She wanted to know what you would say to that.
I put that on my arms. I was one of the first people to say that. And I agree. No matter how hard it is, you have to put boundaries in your life when it comes to our government and when it comes to jobs and when it comes to family sometimes. And you have to, because for the rest of your life, you will look back on that, and what happens is you just start, degrading yourself and dehumanizing yourself for other things that when you get to your deathbed in old age, you're gonna regret. And so I'm not sorry for the do not comply. It hasn't made life easier, but I've discovered such a beauty in life not being so easy, and I have respect in myself, and I have a whole new group of people that are just like me, and so that's been far worth it.
I really enjoyed your performance in Deadpool and in The Mandalorian, and I was wondering if they gave you the opportunity to go back to The Mandalorian to pick Cara Dune back up, would you?
Yep. I think things, who knows what happens in life? Who knows? Who knows what happens in life? There's gonna be a lot of interesting things that are gonna happen, I'm sure.
Hey Gina, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. My name is Jeff. Thanks for being out here. You've been great today. Huge MMA fan. Also a huge American Gladiator fan.
Yeah.
So, the question I have, I know Mandalorian, Deadpool, you kicked some major butt on there. So the intensity of that I know is real. What's more, American Gladiators or those? Or is the physical intensity?
Physical intensity, I would say mixed martial arts was that, I mean, what fighters do and what I was doing at a time that was very young for women, that was intense. I would kill myself, almost kill myself to make weight. And, you know, I really messed up my metabolism really bad. I spent, you know, years trying to correct that. And the extreme of that, the fighting, you know, it's just not, it's not easy. And you know, it's not supposed to be easy, but had I gotten more control of it, like, maybe I would have been able to make a, you know, a comeback. But, you know, I'm really happy where I'm at. And I think we just have to accept ourselves where we're at and always try to continue being healthy. And I do like that there's, you know, such diversity happening. I am a fan of that. I'm happy that there's different body sizes and, you know, different everything on film. I think there needs to be more of that, and I'm always pro that. So just as long as you're healthy, body, mental, and physical, and you know, we all have things going on in our life. So sometimes some of those take a hit, but mixed martial arts is gangster.
Deadpool's a close second in front of American Gladiator, though.
What?
Deadpool's a close second in front of American Gladiator, though.
Oh, yeah, Deadpool is fun. American Gladiators was just like, you know, tackling people on like pyramid pillows, and like I've never, like, that was just a blast. And it's like all the other, a lot of the other gladiators weren't like athletes, and so I had to do all the physical stuff. Because they're like, at one point they're like, the gladiators are getting beaten by all the other, like, the contestants, and I was like, and I was the only one that was winning all of them. Just because I was the athlete that they, so I was in all of the physical, like, stuff. It was a blast.
Thanks, man. Over here.
All right. So what was it? Sorry. So what was Carl Weathers like during both seasons?
That might be tricky, man. I want to make sure we get like the rest of the questions. Do you have any backup cue?
He was absolutely incredible. He was a genuine spirit. He was a mentor. He was just this big, powerful man with a big, powerful voice. And I looked up to him so much.
What was it like seeing the child for the first time while filming for season 1?
There was a big reveal for that. And it was just like, I actually made this comparison. It was like, you know, like having my sister have a baby, bring out the news. Everybody was like, oh my God, I'm newborn. And it was just, the excitement was very real for that. It was like a newborn. And there was no competing with Bridegroom. Anyone ever seen?
I love the in-family baby reveal. Like, this is familiar. You know, this brother.
This is your niece. This is Bridegroom.
That's how America felt too. On Twitter, it was immediately like, oh, here we go.
And this is our baby. Yeah.
Do you want a tissue? We had a few right here. Is that?
Oh, I'm okay.
And we have on this side here.
Hello, my name is Braden. I love your work as Carano.
Thank you.
I'm sorry about what happened, you know. But
I just so sweet.
I just wanted to know what was your favorite scene to film.
Oh man, they were all, you know, that's a really good question and it's hard to answer. I mean, I think the end season of season 2 was probably my favorite because you know there was such emotion, genuine emotion in the room that was just powerful, and you know, like there was genuine tears in the room from me, from Pedro, and it was like one of those things that was just powerful. So that was my favorite.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
I'm so glad you were glad to man. Precious. Little Grogu of our own.
Hey Gina, I got to meet you 2 years ago, literally the day my dad passed away. You were very sweet and hugged me and that. Just want to tell you that. But my question was, when Ryan Reynolds was improvising, did you really punch him in the face?
that. Like, I said, all right. I might just accidentally slip. No, not at all. We just make it look real. I can make it look real.
So real that people still ask that question.
Like, you should have.
That was the line.
Rosie O'Donnell was the line.
So, thank you for standing up for freedom and being an incredible role model to us women, to my kids. That was my son just before me, and my niece who look up to you, so thank you for that. I fell in love with you the second I saw you in Deadpool because I was so excited to see a Marvel character who wasn't a size 0. and then to see you in Mandalorian, I was like, incredible. I want to cosplay you. That is actually my dream cosplay, is to cosplay as Cara Dune. So, that's my favorite costume that you've ever been in, but I want to know what your favorite costume that you've worn on set, and if you have any input in those costumes, you know, that kind of design process.
It was definitely Cara Dune, hands down. And yes, you know, you go in months before, and they start, you know, like measuring things, and then you start going to the gym. You come back and you're like, look, it's happened. You know, there's definitely that whole thing that goes on. But you know, they really were great. I mean, the people on the Mandalorian, when they designed these, they designed them to, you know, really, you know, the shoulders and the waist and the, you know, and then you have to make sure, oh, this is funny. This is something that costume designers do not think about, is when an actress does her own stunts, and the fabric and the pants have to make sure that you're allowed to like squat and roll. And so the first time I squatted, just ripped it down the back. This is not, I felt like this was like, I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's a fabric I didn't know about, you know? And as soon as I like went to do a roll or whatever it was, just ripped it, and we all just started cracking up. And I'm like, okay, ready? Stretchy fabric, stretchy pants.
So I'm going to learn stunt pants, very important.
Stunt pants are important.
Hi, my name is Alyssa. I just wanted to say thank you for speaking out because there weren't that many people doing it and it did help. I wanted to know if you had any advice for when it's hard to speak out, but you know what the right thing is to do or say.
I would really you know, don't react emotionally. Understand that people are hurting too. And if they can't see what you can see, you know, you can't shove it down their throats. All you can do is live by example, so that somebody will notice what you're doing, and then they'll ask, I wonder what her beliefs are. And so that's the way I like to live my life. It's like, when a lot of, you know, awful things are happening, I just want everybody, and when it happens in the world, I'm always like, okay, everybody take a big breath, because there's going to be a lot of emotions swirling around, and everybody's knee-jerk reaction is to start just, you know, destroying each other, and that's exactly what we shouldn't do. So, and then when it gets hard, I just would say, there's a line that you have to draw, and you say, no matter what, I'm not letting anything go past that. And I've worked with them, and I tried to, you know, come up with, you know, some sort of solution that would make everyone feel good, and I was, you know, good about that, but there was just a line, and I couldn't, you know, go past that. And you know where that line is in yourself. And that line is that if you ever look back on that moment, you won't feel bad about yourself for making that wrong decision. And that's where you know your line is. And don't cross that.
Thank you very much.
Oh, hi.
Behind the mic.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Maria, and I really like The Mandalorian. And I wanted to know what your favorite movie that you shooted was.
That I filmed? I think it had to be Haywire. It was my first movie that I ever filmed. And so that will always hold a very special place in my heart. It was a first. But Mandalorian definitely comes second.
Thanks so much. We've only got about 5 minutes left, so we're going to do 2 more questions, but she's downstairs signing her shirt tomorrow as well. So tonight is over, it's like late, I don't know what time it is, but tomorrow, find her downstairs signing, but you, sir.
Well, first of all, I'm sorry about Carl. Second of all, thank you for doing that interview with Jay. That was my introduction to the Geeks and Gamers, and this forever altered my life for all the positive. My question to you is for someone who wants to either start into martial arts or get back into martial arts, is there a martial art that you kind of recommend for that?
You know, I think to each person is different. You know, we all have different skills and different ways of understanding, and so jiu-jitsu is very much, you know, you find a lot of surfers and you find a lot of relaxed characters who, you know, can just flow, right? In Muay Thai, you find a lot of like emotional trauma. Not really, actually, sorry, but you know, just find people that need more aggression, you know, like more hard-hitting, like, you know. So, you know, I do believe in this world today that it would be really wise for everyone to learn how to defend themselves, whether that's, you know, through martial arts or, you know, however it is, just, you know, be prepared for conflict when you're at and make sure that you can protect yourself. And I think that's very valuable. And for me, martial arts actually had me, when I started martial arts, I stopped getting into fights on the street and I started, you know, like, you know, having more respect. Whatever it was, people just, I don't know, it was like I was really quiet and people took that wrong. But it was really just because I had social anxiety. It wasn't because like I was trying to be this quiet person. So yeah, learn how to defend yourself, and however that you find that, have your children in it, and make sure you guys protect yourselves.
The quiet ones are the ones you gotta watch out for.
Thank you. Ones you gotta watch out for.
Oh my gosh, you know what? It's a good point. Nice people are much scarier than mean people because it takes so much more strength to be nice.
Thank you.
But we're fiery when we
What the scale tips.
Yeah. Even though we're shocked, we're like, well, that was
You
hard.
You pushed
nice.
All right, our last question right here on the right.
First of all, I want to thank you so much as someone who's working in the arts and entertainment. You taking a stand meant a lot. So my question, I guess, would be, you've done MMA, you've done acting, now you're doing producing and all kinds of stuff. Even after getting canceled, you're still constantly getting work and doing work in entertainment. How do you manage to keep going? And how do you manage to keep getting paid work?
You know, I have taken a couple years off, and it is hard right now for me to rebuild. But I find when you're coming, like, I love movies, and I love storytelling, and I love being a part of it. And so because I love it, it's not hard to keep my sights focused on it. If I was trying to be famous, you know, or if I was trying to be in movies or TV or anything for the wrong reasons, I think that would be hard. But I find that, you know, you really have to check where your heart's at, and if you really love it, and if you really want to do it, then you can. It's just, you know, it's going to be hard, and you're just going to have to put in the work for it. And so that's the way I look at it.
Thank you.
I didn't realize it was Saturday.
I thought it was Friday.
I was like, you're gonna be down at the booth because it's what, noon, right? And I was like, wait, it's Saturday night. What a good way to end the Saturday. She will be downstairs signing tomorrow, so anyone that had any questions, find her downstairs. I've seen her line taking time to talk to everybody. Give it up for Gina Carano.